Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting journey through history. Today we're diving into the life of Alexander the Great, a name synonymous with monumental conquests and even grander dreams. His story is one of ambition, strategy, and a relentless pursuit of greatness. Alexander was born in 356 BC in Pella, the capital of Macedon. At that time, Greece wasn't a unified country, but a collection of smaller, often warring states. These city-states were constantly at odds, vying for power and territory. The Greek city-states were fragmented and weak, which presented a golden opportunity for Alexander's father, Philip II of Macedon. Philip was a brilliant and astute ruler who saw the potential to unite these divided states under his leadership. Alexander's childhood was far from ordinary. While most kids his age were playing games and learning basic skills, Alexander was immersed in a world of power and politics. Growing up in the opulent palace of Pella, he was constantly surrounded by influential figures and discussions of war and governance. This environment shaped his early understanding of leadership and strategy. His mother, Olympias, was a formidable and ambitious woman. She instilled in Alexander a sense of destiny and greatness, often telling him that their family lineage could be traced back to Achilles, the legendary hero of the Trojan War. Olympias filled Alexander's mind with epic tales of heroism and valor, making him believe that he was destined to achieve greatness just like Achilles. These stories fueled his ambition and shaped his vision for the future. While Olympias nurtured his dreams, it was Philip who provided the practical training. Recognizing Alexander's immense potential, Philip took it upon himself to teach his son the art of warfare. Philip trained Alexander in various aspects of military tactics, strategy, and leadership. He wanted to ensure that Alexander was not only a dreamer, but also a capable and effective leader. Alexander's education wasn't confined to the palace. He accompanied his father on numerous military campaigns, gaining first-hand experience in the complexities of war. These experiences were invaluable, providing him with practical knowledge and a deep understanding of military strategy. In addition to his military training, Alexander received an exceptional education. Philip hired the best tutors for his son, including the renowned philosopher Aristotle. Under Aristotle's guidance, Alexander studied a wide range of subjects, from philosophy and science to literature and politics. This comprehensive education broadened Alexander's horizons and equipped him with the knowledge and skills needed to rule effectively. Aristotle's teachings had a profound impact on Alexander, shaping his intellectual development and his approach to leadership. By the time he was a teenager, Alexander was already showing signs of his future greatness. He was a skilled warrior, a strategic thinker, and a charismatic leader. His early experiences and education had prepared him well for the challenges that lay ahead. As he grew older, Alexander's ambitions only intensified. He was determined to surpass his father's achievements and carve out his own legacy. Little did the world know that this young prince from Macedon would go on to become one of history's greatest conquerors. And so, with a blend of ambition, education, and practical experience, Alexander the Great was poised to make his mark on the world. His journey was just beginning, and the world would soon witness the rise of a king like no other. As Alexander got older, Philip hired the smartest guy around, Aristotle, to be his teacher. For 3 years, Alexander learned from this brilliant philosopher, studying everything from philosophy and literature to science and politics. Aristotle made Alexander love learning, and that stayed with him his whole life. Aristotle's lessons shaped how Alexander saw the world, affecting his choices and his goals. Aristotle taught him the importance of using logic, reason, and observation. He showed Alexander how to analyze his enemies, figure out their strengths and weaknesses, and use every opportunity to his advantage. When Alexander was just 16, his dad, Philip, went off to fight Byzantium, a city that was strategically important for controlling the trade routes between Europe and Asia. With his father away, Alexander had to stay home and rule Macedon. This was no small task for a teenager, as the kingdom was surrounded by potential enemies and internal strife. This was his first big test as a leader. He had to manage the affairs of the state, deal with the nobles, and ensure that the kingdom remained stable in his father's absence. A group from Thrace thought Alexander was weak and rebelled. They underestimated him, thinking that his youth and inexperience would make him an easy target, but Alexander surprised them. He quickly gathered his forces and led them into battle. With strategic brilliance and fearless leadership, he crushed the rebellion, showing everyone he was a strong warrior and a powerful leader. 2 years later, when he was 18, Alexander helped his dad win his greatest victory. This was at the Battle of Chæronea, a decisive conflict that would shape the future of Greece. At the Battle of Chæronea, Philip's army fought against the combined forces of Athens and Thebes. These were two of the most powerful city-states in Greece, and their alliance posed a significant threat to Macedonian dominance. Alexander led the companion cavalry, the best horsemen in Macedon. This elite unit was known for its speed, discipline, and devastating impact on the battlefield. With Alexander at the helm, the companion cavalry smashed through the Theban lines, creating chaos and breaking the enemy's resolve. This decisive action won the battle for his dad and solidified Alexander's reputation as a brilliant military commander. This victory gave Philip control over Greece and set him up to invade Persia. The conquest of Persia was a long-held dream of Philip, and now it seemed within reach. But then something unexpected happened. The court was rife with intrigue and danger, and Philip's ambitions were about to be cut short. In 336 BC, right before he was supposed to leave for Asia, Philip was murdered. The assassination sent shockwaves through the kingdom and left a power vacuum at the top. Alexander, only 20 years old, became the new king of Macedon. Despite his youth, he was ready to take on the mantle of leadership and continue his father's legacy. The stage was set for Alexander to rise as one of history's greatest conquerors. Section 4. Across the Hellespont. Alexander inherited a powerful kingdom with a strong army and lots of money. His father, King Philip II, had spent years building up Macedon into a formidable power in the Greek world. The army was well trained, disciplined, and equipped with the latest in military technology of the time. The coffers were full thanks to the tributes and taxes collected from the conquered territories. This wealth allowed Alexander to fund his ambitious plans without immediate financial strain. However, Alexander also had enemies who saw Philip's death as their chance to attack. The Greek city-states, always wary of Macedonian dominance, saw an opportunity to regain their independence. Rivals within Macedon itself and neighboring kingdoms also eyed the throne with envy. The sudden death of Philip had created a power vacuum that many were eager to exploit. Alexander acted quickly to show he was in charge. At just 20 years old, he demonstrated remarkable leadership and decisiveness. He swiftly dealt with potential threats, both internal and external. By taking immediate action, he sent a clear message to his enemies and allies alike. The new king was not to be underestimated. He stopped rebellions in Thrace and Illyria, regions that had long been troublesome for Macedon. These campaigns were not just about quelling uprisings. They were also about solidifying his authority and demonstrating his military prowess. The swift and decisive victories in these regions bolstered his reputation and secured his northern borders. With his home front secure, Alexander then turned his attention east to the Persian Empire. The Persian Empire was the largest and most powerful empire in the world at that time, stretching from the Mediterranean Sea to the Indus River. Conquering it would not only avenge the earlier Persian invasions of Greece, but also establish Alexander as the ruler of a vast and wealthy empire. In the spring of 334 BC, Alexander led 35,000 soldiers across the Hellespont, a narrow strip of water between Europe and Asia. This crossing was symbolic, marking the beginning of his campaign against Persia. The Hellespont, known today as the Dardanelles, was a significant geographical and cultural boundary, and crossing it was a bold statement of intent. The Hellespont, a narrow strip of water between Europe and Asia, was not just a physical barrier but also a psychological one. By crossing it, Alexander was leaving the familiar world of Greece and entering the vast and unknown territories of the Persian Empire. This act required not only logistical planning, but also immense courage and determination. His army was tough, made up of experienced Macedonian and Greek soldiers with long spears, short swords, and strong shields. They also had engineers, doctors, historians, and lots of other people traveling with them. The Macedonian phalanx, with its long spears called sarissas, was a formidable force on the battlefield. The support staff, including engineers and doctors, ensured that the army could maintain its fighting capability over long campaigns. The presence of historians and other scholars was also significant. They documented the campaign, ensuring that Alexander's achievements would be recorded for posterity. The diverse group of camp followers, including merchants and craftsmen, provided essential services and supplies, making the army a self-sustaining entity. Their goal was to get revenge for when Persia invaded Greece a long time ago. The memory of the Persian invasions, including the burning of Athens, was still fresh in the minds of the Greeks. This campaign was seen as a way to avenge those past humiliations and to assert Greek dominance over their old enemy, and to conquer the biggest empire the world had ever seen. The Persian Empire, with its vast territories and immense wealth, was the ultimate prize. Conquering it would not only bring glory and riches, but also secure Alexander's place in history as one of the greatest military leaders of all time. It was a risky plan, fraught with dangers and uncertainties. The Persian Empire was vast and well defended, with a large and experienced army. The logistics of maintaining a long campaign in foreign territory were daunting. However, Alexander was undeterred. He thrived on challenges and was willing to take risks to achieve his goals. But Alexander loved a challenge. His determination and ambition drove him to push the boundaries of what was possible. He inspired his men with his vision and led them with unwavering confidence. For Alexander, the campaign against Persia was not just a military conquest, it was a quest for glory and immortality. Section 5. The Granicus and After. The Persian king, Darius III, who was very rich but not a great general, heard about Alexander's invasion and gathered a huge army to stop him. They fought at the Granicus River, a small river that flows into the Propontis. The Persian commanders thought they had way more soldiers, so they didn't worry about Alexander. They were wrong. Alexander, always leading from the front, charged right into the Persian lines. His bravery inspired his soldiers and scared his enemies. The Persian army was defeated and ran away. The victory at the Granicus River shocked the Persian Empire. It showed everyone there was a new powerful leader, a king who seemed unbeatable, like a god.